Hi everyone, it's Karen again, and this is my hot tip for keeping safe over Christmas. Okay, so every year when it gets to around this time, scammers and cyber criminals come out of the woodwork and they make huge amounts of money. In fact, last year, between November and January, over 13.5 million was stolen, and the average theft was around £800 sterling, and that's only the ones that were reported. So there's a huge amount of it going on, and we know in 2020, because everybody's online, it's even worse than it was before. So really pay attention and keep as safe as you can. We're right in the middle of the busiest time of year for many of us, and the run up to Christmas. Cyber criminals are really stepping up their activities. You might have already had attacks, you might have had messenger bots that have come in, or you might have had emails, text messages. I've certainly had a few, so I'm sure you will have done. Keeping safe online is really, really important, and especially if you're running a business online. So keep safe. Anyway, couple of tips for it. First, always use strong passwords. You've been told about it. If your password is weak, then somebody else can get into it. Always keep them as complicated as you can. Write them down if you have to, but do not use simple passwords. Use different passwords as well for each thing you're doing. Do not have one password. I know it's tempting. I'm quite often thinking, oh my goodness, how many passwords do I have to have? But if you use one password and somebody cracks that, then they've got access to everything. So try and keep different passwords for different things. It really does make it safe. The other thing on that is don't share your passwords. One of my friends once made the mistake of giving their password to their daughter, only to discover that she'd left the site open overnight, had it hacked. 7 grand later, they had to shut it down and had to get the bank involved. So yeah, just be careful what you're doing. Second tip, don't leave your browsers open. This is a typical thing people do, especially with Facebook. You open it up, you log into it, and then you just leave it running. If you're not using it, close it down, because that's the time when it's vulnerable. So just really be aware of that. Finish with it, log out, log back in again when you need it. The other thing is, if you're paying online, and you've probably heard this from lots of other people, use a credit card if you've got one rather than the debit card. It's much safer. Make sure the browser you're looking at is secure. Now, you'll know it's secure because it says HTTPS. The S on the end of that stands for secure. If it doesn't have that S on it, it's not secure. So think twice about using it. Fourth tip, use antivirus protection and make sure your antivirus protection is up to date. If it's not up to date, it's really not very useful, and hackers can get through it. Okay, final fifth tip, and the biggest one, is turn on two-factor authentication. Most email systems have this nowadays. Most logons have it. Facebook certainly has it. If you're going into Facebook, go into your settings, find it, and turn it on. By doing this, no one else can access your account, only you can. And you can only access it once you've gone through some verification processes. It'll ping up a message saying, is it you trying to access your account? You tip the yes, and then you're in. By doing that, nobody else can get into your account. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's a godsend having that, because I had one of my Facebook accounts hacked earlier this year, in fact. And the only way around that was to put up two-factor authentication on it, and as soon as I did that, people disappeared. So be very careful. Do try and put in all of those extra layers of security if you can, and keep safe, and have a great Christmas and New Year. Thanks a lot. I'm Karen from KF Marketing.